Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 1v1 on Minsk Pocket. Our heroes today are going to be Pantherswag, playing for the Soviets, and his opponent is going to be none other than Imperial Dane, the imperialist of Danes, playing for the Germans. Now, you probably know him. He is prominent and one of the oldest casters here for Company Heroes 2. But let's talk about our players. So Imperial Dane, that we're watching right now, he is a top 100 player on both factions. His Soviet play is ranked 86th, and his German play that we're seeing play right now is ranked 78th. Pantherswag, for his part, is no scrub at all. He is actually ranked number 79 for his Soviet play. So 78 versus 79 should be a pretty damn good match. Now, right off the bat, we see that Imperial Dane has gone for the Mechanized Assault Doctrine, getting Assault Grenadiers immediately. Following that up with a Tier 1 and a Standard Grenadier squad, so not going to be spamming these, just, you know, a little bit of a combined arms there. So he sends the Assault Grenadiers straight to the enemy fuel, getting right on top of those Combat Engineers. Combat Engineers actually dodge out of the point without being able to capture it, which may have been a little bit of a mistake there by Pantherswag, but he does bring a scout car into the mix right away that the Assault Grenadiers are going to get, well, eaten by. They are going to do a lot of damage to it, but the scout car actually does the correct thing and just moves off range. Or, well, not off range, but, you know, backs off to be at range. And the SMGs on the Assault Grenadiers are not going to be able to inflict that much damage. The Assault Grenadiers are now down to less than half health, have already lost one man, and they're forced off of the field. So nice move here by Pantherswag. But obviously, as you can see, well, he did open with Tier 1 and got a scout car right off the bat. Conscript squad's also being produced, have one already out on the field on the right-hand side, and we have a conscript squad coming out onto the field right now. For Imperial Dane, we have a Grenadier squad that already is out on the field with an MG42 as a follow-up. So a nice little combined arms effort here for Imperial Dane. He, well, so far does not have a single repeated unit. We'll see what his follow-up here is. Pantherswag, for his part, is still building just conscripts, and more conscripts. Nothing else from Tier 1 except that scout car. Scout car can get, or, well, the engineers can get upgraded with a flamethrower. However, well, they need 60 fuel, and he does not have 60 fuel just yet. But it still provides a nice weapons platform against the Assault Grens and the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers, right now, at this point in the game, will not be able to throw a Faust because they would need the upgrade, so it is something to keep in mind. However, you still have to be a little bit careful because, well, you know, upgrade could come without you noticing. So anyways, MG42 and the Grens are trying to push forward. The MG42 will be able to get some good damage in on that scout car. The Combat Engineer squad inside still not able to get that flamethrower. Left-hand side, conscripts and Pios engaged. The conscripts decide to back off and get themselves into some light cover, meaning that the Pios will not be able to inflict pretty much any damage on them. And the scout car is also moved in that direction in reverse, in style. Going to be using that 30 cal behind it to open up on the on the Pios. There goes the shots. Pios squad down to 2 men, forced to retreat, and the Assault Grand squad now reinforced, but at about half strength with all its members, will die very quickly to anything, so it moves into the center. Second Grenadier squad now out on the field for Imperial Dane. We have a 4th conscript squad getting produced for Pantherswag. He decided not to get any of the upgrades in the buildings just yet. So we'll see what happens. Conscripts moving together on the left-hand side. Going to be running into some Grens and Assault Grens. The Assault Grens should be able to get the... well, actually, no. I mean, considering they were bending the corner, they could have actually gotten the upper hand on this conscript squad. However, they closed the distance on the one further away, doing a lot of damage to them now that they are at point-blank range. Conscript squad needs to retreat. Down to 3 men. Can it make it out? Down to 2 on the retreat. Probably going to lose one more guy on the retreat. The other conscript squad gets in the way and starts inflicting a lot of damage. The Grens have taken quite a beating here, but they are at close range, doing a lot of damage to the conscripts. They lose one more man. Down goes another one. 3 men left in that squad. Down to 2 men. Down to 1, but wow, they inflicted a lot of damage there. 1 on the conscripts, 2 on the Assault Grenadiers. Very low in health. Scout car could actually move in to try to get the kill on the Assault Grand squad, but since the Grenadier squad is chasing it down, it decides to move out of the way. Combat Engineers pop out of the scout car, and they are going to repair. The MG42 gets turned around and is opening up on the scout car itself, doing a lot of damage to it with its brand new penetration. But the MG42 is forced to pack up as a conscript squad gets right behind it. Another conscript squad is in the way, may be able to get some shots on it and get some kills, but it is a 3-man squad, so it will make it out of the field without much of an issue. Center points are currently captured by Dane, but they are not connected, as this point over here has not been connected by anybody. We do see that Pantherswag has captured a lot of the map. The left-hand side is currently decapped, or well, cut off, I guess. And the center victory point is getting captured by Pantherswag. Imperial Dane going tier 2 now. We'll see what he goes for tier 2. Also has the ability to Faust now, obviously. And the combat engineers will try to get some repairs going on that scout car as the enemy barrels down in its direction. We'll have to pop in and get out of the way. The combat engineers are going to run away, and they actually miss their ride, so they will take some damage and be forced to retreat. Mine does get hit there by a grenadier. However, it's only one grenadier. Actually, no, it was 2. Okay. So one grenadier from each squad actually ends up dying, so it's 3-3 squads. But, you know, they're fine. Still 3 grands, pretty strong. Conscripts setting themselves up in the middle of the map. We have on the left-hand side more conscript squads capturing. We are still only at 4 conscript squads for Pantherswag. We'll see what he decides to go for. Imperial Dane still not building anything just yet. Not a lot of fuel to build anything with, but he could get some Panzer Grenadier squads. We'll see what he goes for. Yeah, Panzer Grenadiers, there you go. Conscript squad, down to 2 men, forced to retreat. Conscript squad caught right in the middle there, getting suppressed by the MG42. Second squad, well actually 3rd and 4th I should say, getting flank on that MG42. However, the MG42 is ripping into that conscript squad. Left-hand side, Pios and Assault Grenadiers are right on top of the conscripts. The conscripts are focusing down. Assault Grenades do fly at the conscripts. However, they were down to 2 men, so only 2 grenades flew, and it didn't really do too much, except a little bit of splash damage. Conscripts are getting battered here by the Gren. The MG42 gets turned around, going to be able to open up on the... No, forced to retreat. There it goes. Pioneer squad, only thing left on the field, 6 from 4. That conscript squad, those conscript squads are going to ridiculously win here against the Pio, and the Pio, well... Actually, the Pio inflicted a lot of damage on that conscript squad. Down 2 men and forced to retreat. 4-man conscript squad against 3-man Pio. Pios lose 1 more man. They close the distance, but they are forced to retreat as well. So Pantherswag getting a nice victory there on the battlefield. Scout car now fully repaired with its combat engineers back on it with a flamethrower. Another conscript squad gets produced for Pantherswag, bringing in the total up to 5. And we see a German scout car getting produced for Imperial Dane. Most likely with an autocannon right away, so that it can deal with this Soviet scout car. Soviet scout car with the flamethrower pushes up. The Grand Squad moves in, gets in range for a Faust. Faust flies at a distance, nails the scout car, does some damage to the engine, but it is still alive at about 30% strength. Will slowly move out of the way, continuing to garrison those combat engineers, as they will provide some fire support if the troops try to chase it down. And the Grants and Panzer Grants are not really chasing it down. The Grants are pushing forward, but the scout car will slowly crawl back out. Conscripts and Grants engaging in the middle of the open. The Grants get themselves into light cover. The scout car providing some support fire at range with its 50 cal machine gun right on top. There it goes. Scout car 4 Imperial Dane moves into the fray and should be able to deal with the Soviet scout car as soon as it gets the upgrade. Even without the upgrade, it still does a lot of damage and can chase it down. Normally wins on a 1-on-1, but with the upgrade, it is essentially a scout car killer. Scout car now fully repaired. Ow, sorry, my neck kind of hurts. Fully repaired and garrisoned again with the Soviets, the combat engineers. Left-hand side, conscripts engaging a Panzer Grenadier squad. Panzer Grenadier squad will do damage to this conscript squad out in the open, but they did lose 2 of their men, so they're forced off. MG42 gets brought in to stop the flank, or any engagements in that flank, but they don't manage to do much else. Conscripts do get in range to throw an 18-8 out at that scout car. The scout car backs off, but it does get nailed. Grenadier squad forced to retreat. Conscripts down to 3 men, also forced to retreat. More conscripts coming off the field. The combat engineers burning that MG42 alive, take it away, and the conscripts may actually be able to steal the weapon, and they will. It is a prime opportunity. They instantly retreat since they know there is a German scout car in the field, and it makes it out. The German scout car still not upgraded, so the Soviet scout car could actually go for the cap. We're going to see another mine getting laid down. No, the approaching infantry will deny them that ability. The combat engineers will pop right back into the truck, into the scout car, and they move out of the way. Conscripts move in to relieve them. Assault Grenadiers pushing forward. Rifle Nade going down on top of the conscripts, nailing 2 of them, or 1 really. The other one got shot down. And Flamethrower Burst goes off on the Assault Grenadier squad, forcing it off the field. And there it goes. Grenadiers trying to hold the line. The Scout Car over here getting repaired, almost back to full strength. Will be able to come back into the fight. Left-hand side, Conscript Squad capturing the points, as pretty much the entirety of the map is currently in control for Pantherswag. Pantherswag getting Tier 2. Interesting choice. I mean, usually you see either Tier 1 or Tier 2, but not both. However, you know, it still gives you a lot of choices, especially in the form of anti-tank. Those AT guns are always invaluable. So Tier 2 down, Maximum... No, that's actually the MG42. MG42 gets cleared out by the stolen Scout Car. Overdrive gets hit on the Soviet Scout Car to get away from the German one, and it makes it out of there. 50 cal machine gun opening up a little bit on it as it moves away. And we see mines getting hit here by the Panzer Grenadiers, losing more members down to 1 man, forced to retreat off the field, and that MG42 is now once again for the taken for Imperial Dane. Imperial Dane getting himself his own AT gun, a pack gun from Tier 2, expecting some type of vehicle play at this point. Nothing yet so far. We do have Tier 2. Tier 2 does not have vehicles, obviously. The only vehicle so far is the Soviet Scout Car. But, well, it's not a bad choice. It is usually a good time to get an AT gun around there. That is, however, the problem, I guess you could say, with the pack gun, because at least with the Soviet AT gun, if you get it earlier on, it has the artillery barrage ability that you can utilize against infantry. The pack gun, however, doesn't have that, so if there is no vehicles for it to deal with, even though, yes, there is a Scout Car that it could potentially snipe, essentially the pack gun is kind of a dead weight. Just, something you could have, resources you could have put elsewhere for that time being until an actual threat comes to the field. And we can see now that, Pantherswag is getting himself that AT gun, and like I said, yeah, there's that Scout Car that it can chase down. Oh, Scout Car getting its upgraded autocannon. That Soviet Scout Car is going to be going down. A lot of damage going down right on top of it. The combat engineers need to pop out. Pop out now. And, well, they don't. They do pop out, but none of them actually die. They popped out because it exploded. They forced to retreat. And the conscripts on the right-hand side are trying to chase down the Scout Car. As in the center, we have an engagement. Conscripts getting forced away by the MG42. MG42 down to 2 men. The conscripts on the left-hand side are getting some damage on it. However, they are right in front of the arc of fire. The conscripts on the right-hand side did manage to throw an 18-8 off on that Soviet Scout Car. Did they actually throw the 18-8? Yes, they did. And get the kill. Stug 3, or Stuggy, I guess you could say, gets called into the battlefield for Imperial Dane to replace the other car. So the Soviet AT gun will actually be invaluable now, since it will be the only thing that can deal with this tank effectively. AT guns will obviously, be a problem, deal some damage, and disable it a little bit. But, it's not a threat of killing it. The AT gun is the only thing so far that can kill it. But again, I mean, that's good for this guy. Yeah, that pack gun over here is, kind of a build order thing where you have to get it around this time because you would expect vehicles around that time. But if there's no vehicles at that time, well, then you wasted it, I guess. So the pack gun moves up, Stuggy pushing forward, Panzer Grenadiers pushing into the center, so Imperial Dane now in a very strong position to be able to push. However, we do see that Pantherswag is just flooding conscripts, getting even more conscripts at this stage of the game, bringing them onto the field. We have 6 conscripts on the field with 2 combat engineers and an AT gun. All infantry. The Stuggy, however, is really good against infantry, so it is an excellent choice in this situation. Combat engineer squad gonna go down. Yeah. Combat engineers go down on the left-hand side for Pantherswag. A little bit of a lapse there in concentration, and he lost the squad. He's getting himself a Maxim machine gun since he does have Tier 2, so not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all to have. The MG42 did get lost and recovered, so he does need that, I suppose. Conscripts flooding into the center. Ren's trying to stop them. Pyo's squad getting nailed there by shots, down to 1 man. Panzer Grenadier squad moving up, but running into a bunch of infantry. Throws a bundle nade to where no infantry no longer is. Conscript squad does get hit by the Stuggy and is forced away. Combat Engineer Squad are going to be trying to throw a Flame Burst at that. Panzer Grenadier Squad does get a Flame Burst off, down to 2 men on that Panzer Grenadier Squad. Not doing a lot of damage, but the Combat Engineer Squad down to 1 man, forces the retreat, barely makes it out of there with its life intact. The conscripts push forward to get a little bit of damage in there, but get damage back in return. The Stuggy now up to 6 kills very quickly, because it is a really good anti-infantry tank. AT gun sets itself up to where the Stuggy was. Conscripts moving over to the left-hand side, going to see if they can get the flank on the Stuggy. The Stuggy notices the conscripts and they push forward. The conscripts could, no, and they already URAT, so they can't actually get on top of it. They do get stopped by the MG42 as it has a decent enough angle there that it covers that approach. They would have actually had to take the long way around, which is not usually what you do. You send the order and they take the closest path. Maxim machine gun pushes up to the center. There's nobody right now in the center. However, it is probably covered by, you know, the range of things. We do have an MG42. Yeah. Wow, excuse me. Needed to breathe. Or oxygen. Stuff. There you go. Anyways, the MG42 is covering about the half of it. The conscripts will move right to the edge, so the MG42 will not have enough range. AT gun could shoot at them if he sees them, but he does not, so there you go. Maxim machine gun moves up to the right-hand side, right behind the conscript squad, and another conscript squad there for support. So a lot of infantry on the field for Pantherswag. Pantherswag moves up with its AT gun. We're going to make sure that that Stuggy cannot move in here without any opposition. More AT guns getting brought into the field for Imperial Dane. Again, I mean, they'll probably be useful later on, but during all this time, well, pack guns really don't do much. I mean, this pack gun has gotten a kill on an infantry, which I guess is kind of nice. I mean, it's not horrible completely, because it's still, you know, some support fire there that gets tossed at the enemy, but it's just for show, kind of. It doesn't actually do anything. Panzer Grenadier Squad down to one man, forced to retreat. The Gren Squad does manage to get right on top of the AT gun, forcing it to back off. Maxim Machine Gun also backing off, as it does not manage to stop the approaching infantry. Combat Engineers and two conscript squads, though, are right behind the troops, here for reinforcement, forcing them to stop. Flamethrower burst does go off. Whoa, the AT gun manages to nail the, an infantry there from that Grenadier Squad, and they retreat at 2 men. And the Grens over here on the right-hand side, they did not actually place themselves in a spot to be able to decap the point, and they're not getting shot at by conscripts. Now they're actually recapturing the point. Conscript squad's pushing forward. One conscript squad forced to retreat. Conscript squad on the left-hand side getting stopped by the MG42. A mortar will not be a bad situation here, since you know that there is an MG42 there. Maxim machine gun shooting at those Grens. The Grens who managed to get a decap in the center. Conscripts forced to retreat. AT gun throwing on artillery barrage on nothing. The Grens were pushing forward. Looks like it was trying to nail it as they came, but no. They managed to get through it, and right on top of it, Maxim machine gun stops the Assault Grenadier Squad as it pushes forward, forces the retreat, and there it goes. AT gun backs off and is still on the field. Far right-hand side, Pioneer Squad just being used to capture. Far left-hand side, a Conscript Squad used to capture as well. And no additional tech. So I would assume at this point, Pantherswag is probably going to be utilizing Doctrine to get the call-ins for heavier tanks. We do see medics and anti-tank nades already researched for Pantherswags. No Molotovs, which is an interesting choice. I mean, he does have a lot of munitions, which means he could be Molotoving more aggressively. And he does have 6 conscript squads on the field, meaning Molotovs would, you know, fly in all directions. So, I'm not sure I agree with Molotovs not getting, you know, upgraded here for Pantherswag, but well, some people just don't like them. And there we go. We see a Doctrine selection for Pantherswag, and that is the shock rifle frontline tactics. And we're probably going to see the KV-8 getting called in right in. Or maybe an IS-2. I mean, he does have enough fuel for one and getting enough manpower. Very near it. Needs about 100 more. So I'm assuming, since he's not getting the KV-8 right away, he's getting an IS-2. So we're probably going to see that IS-2. Conscripts push forward, get a little bit battered there by all the infantry. Nice little line here set up by Imperial Dane. A lot of AT guns, but he also has an MG42. Grenadiers pushing forward. We're going to try to recap the point. Conscripts behind the point, getting some shots in on those Grens. Behind that, we do have an AT gun and a Maxim machine gun set up to defend the point. And it looks like Pantherswag decided not to actually get himself an IS-2. And instead spend manpower getting another Maxim machine gun. Interesting choice, but I mean, I guess it's okay. Not sure how I feel about it, but there you go. Conscripts over on the left-hand side do manage to get a flank on that Stuggy. Gets an 18-8 off on the Stuggy. Stuggy also gets damaged by the AT gun down to about half health. It is veteran C2, so it has armored skirts, which look pretty awesome on the Stuggy. But it is still alive, and it'll probably stay alive. The AT gun is moving up, but not managing to do much. Conscripts push forward, getting some shots off on that pack gun. The pack gun is forced to back off. Assault Grenadiers moving behind the assault, the AT gun. Maxim machine gun, however, does manage to stop them in their tracks and forces them away. Conscripts retreating, and Pantherswag manages to push forward. Combat Engineers moving to capture the munitions point and decap the points. Victory points are 399 for Pantherswag, 280 for Imperial Dane. About a 100-point lead there for Pantherswag, a little bit more, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Grenadier Squad getting right behind that Maxim machine gun, throws a rifle nade right on top of it, nails 2 of their men on that, but the Maxim machine gun actually sprints out of the way. It's an interesting thing that they have, the Maxim machine gun sprints, but it ends up having to retreat as the LMG does kill more guys off. Down to 1 man, barely makes it out of there. Second Maxim machine gun, however, does get brought into the mix, and the Gren Squad is forced to retreat. More grenades, more rifle nades go off on the other Maxim machine gun, killing 1 more guy, but still alive at 5 men. They back off and move out of the way. KV-8 gets called into the field, so Pantherswag not wanting to call in the heavy cavalry, he notices that, you know, besides the Stuggy, which isn't really a threat to a KV-8, the only things are pack guns, and, well, the KV-8 can actually, you know, burn everything very quickly, and even rush pack guns head on and, you know, kill them. So there it goes, KV-8 brought into the field, flamethrower goes off and is doing a lot of damage on the assault grants. The assault grants are forced to retreat. Panzer Grenadier Squad does not have Shreks, so it's not going to be able to do much. The Stuggy does throw a target weak point shot on the KV-8, getting it shocked a little bit there. Conscripts push forward, going to get themselves right on top of that pack gun. The pack gun is going to be forced to back off. Second pack gun is set up on the other side of the map. The KV-8 can push forward and clear one of them, whilst taking damage, obviously, but it can clear it out if Pantherswag wanted to. Pushes forward, gets the flame on a Pio Squad, I think it was, and kills it off. Panzer Grenadier Squad is also getting burned alive, but now the KV-8 is getting shot at by the pack gun, gets itself right behind the pack gun. The pack gun is going to get burned alive, and there it goes, down to 1 man. Tiger, however, does get brought into the field for Imperial Dane, so that KV-8 is in a lot of trouble, which is why the IS-2 a little bit while ago I think would have been a better idea. But still, I mean, there's AT guns on the field, so that Tiger cannot just simply walk on top of everything and just win. So the Tiger getting shot at. Oh, actually gets naded here by those conscripts. Damage on the engine, and the AT gun is able to keep nailing it, doing some damage. That engine is just standard engine damage. It is slow, but it will be able to do more shots. Rear armor hit there by the AT gun. The Tiger is, for some reason, just sitting there in the pocket, taking more damage. Now it's backing off. Stuggy moves up, gonna get right behind that that AT gun. AT gun getting turned around, gonna shoot back at the Stuggy. The Stuggy gets shot back in return, down to about half health in 1 shot, and maybe 60%. Second shot goes off. No, goes off at the pack gun. Pioneers being used to repair. The pack gun did get decrewed, so it is an open flank, and the KV-8 is actually still on the field and needs repairs. We have a combat engineer squad currently up over here on the north, laying down some mines, so that KV-8 is not going to get repaired anytime soon. Tiger does manage to crawl back out of the way. The pack gun keeps on getting shot by the AT gun. The AT gun may be able to destroy it. This AT gun is down to 3 men. And on the left-hand side, the conscripts are engaging against the assault grins. The assault grins at range are going to lose, and the conscripts win the engagement and force them away. Far left-hand side, Grenadier Squad capturing, as a conscript squad is forced to retreat down to 1 man. And we have more troops flooding from the field as conscripts just continue to flood into the battlefield to provide some support. Again, we still have a lot of fuel for Pantherswag. He can easily call in an IS-2. The problem is he has to save the manpower, and with that many infantry on the field, manpower is a luxury as far as resources goes, because you have to reinforce constantly. For example, this squad will need to get reinforced back out here, and that is going to eat a lot of manpower if it does. Or you would just have to leave it there for a while, not have it reinforced, out of commission, out of the battlefield, and you know, save the manpower till you actually can. So yeah, I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. I don't see that conscript squad getting reinforced right now, since, you know, Pantherswag knows that there is a Tiger on the field. Tiger is getting still repaired, almost back to full strength and about to get its engine back in working order. And the Stuggy is still at about half health with Veteran C2. Conscripts on the left-hand side. They now finally have Molotovs, able to throw Molotovs at everything. We see a Molotov landing over here, and I heard it a little while ago. Conscript, however, is forced off of the field as the Assault Grens do a lot of damage at close range. Maxim Machine Gun does get the pin down on the Assault Gren squad on the left-hand side, stopping it from being able to capture the point. Tiger pushes forward with the support of Grens, doing a lot of damage to the Maxim Machine Gun, and the Maxim Machine Gun is forced to back up. Assault Gren squad, Maxim Machine Gun over here on the left-hand side, still getting damage on that Assault Gren squad. Gets another kill, and the squad is down to 3 men and still pinned down. Forced to retreat. Grens push forward, supported by the Tiger. The Stuggy also now fully repaired. Pack gun pushes forward. Molotov landing on the pack gun. Very nice. That pack gun is a goner. Gonna get recruit most likely, but it is not likely to survive that fire. And Imperial Dane is not even gonna try to remove it. There it goes. Down it goes. AT gun throwing a barrage straight into the center. Did it actually nail it? No. Well, it did. It hit the Grand Squad, doing a lot of damage. You can see 3 of the guys dead right there. But 1 man made it alive, stayed alive and made it out of there. I believe. Yeah, I saw him retreat, so yeah, that should be it. Left-hand side.
Red Army, at your service.
Conscripts just capturing point. Excuse me. Right-hand side, a point is still isolated there and not captured by Pantherswag, but I guess he doesn't really care too much. Stuggy pushes up, gets a lot of damage on that Maxim Machine Gun. Maxim Machine Gun down to 1 man, forced to retreat. Can the Stuggy take it out? No, the Tiger actually takes it out, and there it goes. Maxim Machine Gun is still on the field, however, down to about half health on the weapon itself, so needs to be a little bit careful. Some repairs on the weapons would help. Conscripts on the left-hand side did lay down some sandbags, giving themselves some heavy cover, allowing them to stay alive a little bit. However, the conscripts will eventually lose, as Assault Grenadiers will close the distance and get right on top of them. Nice Molotov, however, dealing some damage to the enemies on the cover. However, they are forced off of the field. Maxim Machine Gun on the left-hand side, getting some damage in on those Assault Grens, forcing it away. Pack Gun now recruit, moves a little bit further up, supporting the Tiger and the Stuggy. The Stuggy also getting now another pack. No, actually the Grens are pushing forward. I thought they were going for the pack gun. KV-8 now fully repaired, still on the field, not being able to do too much. KV-8 can be used for types of hit and run tactics. However, it is moving, exposing its rear armor, which I'm not entirely sure why it's doing. Pack gun getting in some more damage, moves into the left-hand side, getting some flame burst off on the Panzer Grenadiers, forcing it to back off. And the KV-8 is still going to be alive as the combat engineers are forced to retreat down to 1 man, barely make it out. Barrels over here in the tank, or the vehicle getting exploded here by the tank, but the tank still alive, makes it out. Maxim Machine Guns and AT Guns. We have 2 AT Guns on the field for Pantherswag, and he's still... Yeah, he did reinforce the squad as I assumed he would. So yeah, he's still not able to call in the tank because of the sheer amount of infantry he has. He has to reinforce them constantly if he wants to keep him active and on the field. And that is bleeding his manpower severely to the point where he can't actually call in an IS-2, which I'm assuming he would want. I don't know why he wouldn't, but well, there you go. AT Guns. Oh, excuse me again. AT Guns over here could actually utilize the cloak ability and place themselves into hold fire, and that would kind of help out and maybe catch the tanks out of catch them out of position in a surprise ambush there. But well, it's not something that you see being used a lot. Another Stuggy getting called onto the field, pushes forwards, gets some shots off on the infantry, getting shot back in return by the AT Guns. The Stuggy over here on the right-hand side pushes forward, leaves the charge and just gets shot up, and down it goes. Big mistake there from Imperial Dane. No reason to actually push up with the Stuggy just like that. I guess he was thinking maybe there was still only 1 AT Gun left. Stuggy over here on the left-hand side almost gets itself killed, gets shot at, but the Maxim Machine Gun did go down. Not the Maxim Machine Gun, the AT Gun did go down. So the Stuggy did not get shot on its way out, so it stays alive. AT Gun on the left-hand side getting some damage in on that Tiger, bouncing some shots off the frontal armor. The Maxim Machine Gun trying to hold strong. Second AT Gun gets recruit. The Tiger is still in its line of sight, so it will get shot at. Maxim Machine Gun trying to hold the line down to 1 man. The Grand Squad will be able to kill it off. AT Gun gets decrewed once again. And down to 75 points for Imperial Dane. He is kind of getting desperate at this point. He needs to push forward and get those tanks. We see an incendiary round right on top of the Tiger. He's going to try and see if he can bait it. Well, not bait it, but, you know, trick it into moving out of the way. But he doesn't. The incendiary round lands right on top of everything. And the Tiger moves up to decrew the AT gun. So both AT guns are now off the field. The KV-8 backs off as it really can't do much. He could switch over to the main gun, but it is a 45mm main gun, which isn't really too impressive. It doesn't do too much or anything, really. Stuggies on the field getting damaged. One of them actually hit a mine right here. And the conscripts push forward just to get themselves killed, and there it goes. And Pantherswag is now in a bad spot. Imperial Dane, however, does need to recapture those points. He is sending a pack gun into the center to decap that point and stop the bleed. Conscripts right behind the AT gun may actually be able to kill it off. A Molotov right on top of the AT gun will be able to deny the AT gun the ability to cap. It is currently in the point, making it so that it cannot decap the point. Continuing the bleed at 3 points. We see on the left-hand side Imperial Dane sending a Panzer Grenadier to try to recapture the point. The conscripts in the center are forced away. One squad actually gets eliminated completely as the no, both of them actually got eliminated completely. Whoa, Pantherswag losing a lot of things. Down to 16 points for Imperial Dane. He did manage to decap on this point over here. Still bleeding at 2 points per tick. Down to 12, sending an incendiary barrage right on top of the victory point. Can he get the cap? It looks like he's going to be able to get the cap. Gets the cap and puts the bleed down to 1 tick per point at 8. Decaps the point on the left-hand side and stops the bleed at 8. Barely holding on. Tiger, however, is with a sliver of health. Not the best of things. And IS-2 gets brought into the field for Pantherswag. One-shots that Tiger. The Stuggies are no match for an IS-2. They are actually going to do damage, which is kind of surprising. We've seen this happen before, but the IS-2 will just eat them up. Down goes another one. Stuggy still on the field. There is a pack gun, however, doing a lot of damage to the IS-2. The IS-2 needs to back off. Stuggy pushes forward. Gonna get shot there by the IS-2 and probably die. There it goes. KV-8 moves in to get the flank on the pack. The IS-2 now down to very low amounts of health. Needs to get repaired. But the KV-8 destroys the pack, and it now will turn its flamethrower sights on the assault grants. Down to 8 men, and Imperial Dane throws in the towel. Having lost all those things at this point, really didn't have much else to be able to work with, and we see that infantry was moving in that direction. Cutting it kind of close there for Pantherswag. He did lose a lot of things. I believe that he should have actually called that IS-2 out earlier rather than the KV-8, but in the end, he still managed to get that win. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.